Hi, how are you today? This is Auntie Nat's Crochet. Glad you chose this tutorial video. Do subscribe to my channel. The subscribe button is at this corner over here. It will mean a lot to me. I have hundreds over videos, so do check them out. And today I'm going to make chrysanthemum. In the earlier post I made some chrysanthemum bud. This is the bud. And today I'm going to make, this pose, I'm going to make a medium-sized chrysanthemum. So I haven't curled up the wire yet. You can still see the wire. So I'm going to curl up the wire just like this with this. This is the, you can get this at the art and craft store. It is kind of like a sticky tape in green for flower making. And I got myself some wire, 0.8 mm thick wire, or you can get thicker wire if you want, but I would suggest that you should not be too thick because it's kind of hard to bend. You need to bend the wire in between the flowers. And I'm using lace yarn. This is also lace yarn. I hope this is enough for the Sepal. So this is the lace yarn. I can't remember the size of the lace yarn. If I'm mistaken, it's also 0.08, the thicker one, the slightly thicker version of the lace yarn. There are some lace yarn which is so fine that it's almost like a thread. This is slightly thicker, which makes the flower turns out better. And I'm going to use a 2 mm hook. And if you want, you can actually add starch to this petal, all this petal, and iron it. But I do not want to iron it. I did not iron it. So that because the real flower, it does curl at the edge there, at the tip of each flower. So I just let it be. So when you want to take photo for it, you have to kind of like spread out each petal and smooth it out. Then it will look a bit more like chrysanthemum. Okay, now let's start. Okay, we're gonna start with the green yarn. I'm gonna start by making a magic circle. Once you have a magic circle or a magic ring, you do 5 single crochet into the ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You do 5 single crochet into the magic ring. Then I'm going to do increase in the next row. I'm going to do 2 single crochet into each stitch. So this is, just now I make 1 stitch, now I make my second stitch. This is 1 increase. To increase, 3 increase, 4 increase, and 5 increase. Now row 3, So you should have 10 stitches in this row because we started with 5, we did increase. So now you're gonna have 10 stitches in this row. Row 3, we're gonna do 1 single crochet, followed by an increase. Increase means 2 single crochet into the same stitch. One single crochet, increase, and you continue in the same manner. You should have 5 sets of it. And this row you should have 15 stitches. Okay, and now we go to row 4. Row 4, I'm going to do single crochet all around, so there's no increase. So you should have 15 stitches as well, same as the previous row. Oops. Okay, let's see if I have 15 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, now we're going to do the kind of petal thing. Okay, need 5 sets of it, so which means, you know, just in case, because sometimes it's kind of difficult to see, what I do is 1, 2, 3, on the 4th one I will put 1 marker. So this is considered 1. The marker is considered 1, 2, 3. And the marker here, 1, 2, 3. And the marker here, this one. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You should have 5 petals, because sometimes this dark green is kind of hard to see and I might go overboard and I couldn't get 5 sets of it, or maybe I get 6 sets of it. So I'm gonna do this way, it's easier to see, especially for beginners. Okay, what I'm going to do is you go to the next stitch, you slip stitch, and you add a marker to remind yourself this is the first stitch. So you tell yourself red color, this red one is the first one. I'm going to chain 1. I'm gonna yarn over and into this next stitch here, this middle stitch here, I'm going to do 3 double crochet together, which means when I yarn over 2, I will have 2 loop on my hook. I yarn over again, I make a second double crochet, but I do not finish it. You just put through 2, and again the third one, yarn over, you put through 2. So you make sure you have 4 stitches on your hook. You put through all, chain 1, go back to the same stitch here and do a slip stitch. And then you slip stitch to the next stitch. This makes one set, so you're gonna make 5 sets of it. So now we are here. You go to this next stitch, you have 3 stitches here. This first stitch you slip stitch, chain 1, yarn over, go to the next stitch and do a a double crochet but not complete. Then you do a second one, same thing, just put through 2 and leave it there. And the third one. Now you have 4 stitch, 4 hook, 4 yarn, 4 loop on your hook. Put through all 4, chain 1, go back to the same stitch here and do a slip stitch. Then you slip stitch to the next stitch. Then once you remove this marker, you will realize you have 3 stitch here. So you slip stitch, chain 1, yarn over, go to the next stitch and do half double crochet, but do not complete it, just do halfway. Another one, it's a double crochet, not a half double crochet. And you have 3 on your hook. Then again, yarn over 2, don't complete it yet. And you have 4 on your hook. Now you put through all, chain 1, go back to the same stitch and do a slip stitch, and you slip stitch to the next stitch. Then you do again, so you should have 5 sets of this. Slip stitch, chain 1, 3 double crochet together, then you slip stitch into the same stitch and you slip stitch to the next stitch. It's a good thing I have a marker here. If not, I can't really see whether I slip stitch into the next especially right after this part here. So you're gonna have something like this. So this is my last set. So you're gonna slip stitch onto this last stitch here, and you're gonna chain 1 and pull tight to kind of lock it here. And when you cut the yarn, make sure you leave a bit of a tail so that I can sew this onto the flower later on. I'm going to use this one to sew it onto the flower. So the petal looks like this, or sepal, not petal, sorry. It looks like this, and this particular middle tail here, you can either hide it inside here later on, or you can just cut the yarn. And now we're going to do the flower. Okay, now you go grab the lace yarn of your choice, your color for the flower, and we're going to start by making a chain. I'm going to chain 68. And this is just my habit of making a knot, and you chain 68. I'll come back to you once I have chain 68. Okay, this is chain 68. So after you chain 68, I am going to work on the bum side. So up to you whether you want to work on a V shape here or you're going to work on the bum side. This is the V shape. Then you turn to the back. That's this bum side. I'm going to work on the bum side. So you go to the second stitch from the hook. This is the hook. This is the first stitch. This is the second stitch. Turn to the back. I'm going to go to this hump here and do a slip stitch. So after this slip stitch, the next stitch I am going to do a single crochet. Then I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch again. I'm going to skip one here, skip this stitch, go to the next stitch and do a slip stitch. Now the fun begins. We're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here you don't have to work on the bum side, you can just work here. Okay, from either, it's up to you whether you want to work on the bum side. And you can see this part here, but on this top part here I don't work on the bum side. I only work on the bum side at the bottom part here, so that when I sew this together it's easier to see the stitch. So here you go to the second stitch from your hook. This is your hook. This is the first stitch. This is the second stitch. You do a slip stitch into that second stitch. Then you're going to do single crochet all the way down. You should have 5 of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. By the time you have 5 single crochet, you already reach this chain, foundation chain. So you're going to skip one stitch, you go to the next stitch and do a slip stitch, and again chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go to the second stitch from your hook, you make a slip stitch, and then you do 5 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you reach your foundation chain here. You skip one stitch, you go to the next stitch and do a slip stitch and repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they're gonna look like this. Let me put it down here. And they're gonna look like this. So it depends. There are some who would iron this part here, or you can add starch, so your petal will come out, open up straight. Whereas mine curls a bit, because I find the real flower do curl up a bit. But when you want to decorate it, or you want to take photo, make sure you open up the bottom petal more, so that it will look like a chrysanthemum. You know how chrysanthemum sometimes you just open up the bottom part, but the top part is always kind of close up together. Anyway, this is the medium size flower. I haven't come to the big one yet. So here, up to you whether you want to iron it, starch it. So now you're going to make this. You're gonna continue to do 31 more. Sorry, not 31 more, I mean 31 of this petal. This is 1, I don't count this. This is 1, this is 2. Now I'm making the third one, and you continue until the end of the row. You should have 31 stitches. I'll come back to you once I'm at the end of the row. Okay, I've come to the last stitch here. You just, like the normal way, you just skip one and go to the last stitch. Oops, sorry, let me do that again. Go to the last stitch and do a slip stitch, chain 1. I'm sorry, something is wrong with my phone. I still haven't it figured out yet. And you cut the yarn. And just tie these two into a knot. The two tail. One is from the start, one is the end. And this is the front. So you really did have 31 of it, minus the first one here. There's first one here. So now we're going to curl it up like this. Curl it up nicely. First you have to get a thread and needle. Thread and needle. It doesn't really matter if it's not of the same color, because this sepal is gonna cover the bottom part here. So here, as that when you turn it in, you make a stitch. Like this, you just make a 1 or 2 stitch. Oops. Just make 1 or 2 stitches. Then you continue to curl it more. Oops, it got tangled. Let me get that out of the way. So you're gonna curl this, make a stitch, and make 1 or 2 stitches. Then you curl it some more, and you keep curling it. This is the front part, this is the back. You can see the tip here will curl inwards. There's another way of doing it is you iron it first. Iron it first before you start curling it. But even if you have ironed it, unless I guess you iron it with starch, I don't think the shape will hold very long. So you just keep on sewing. You keep sewing until it becomes a flower like this. And then we add the bottom part with wire and we curl it with this green tape. Then it becomes a flower like this. So let me get this done nicely and I'll come back to you. All you have to do is, because at the moment the camera is in the way, I can't really see if this is tangled, so I'll come back to you. I hope you get what I mean. Here you just curl it and make one stitch, you keep curling and make another stitch here, and you keep curling and curling and curling. I'll come back and show you how the end product will look like. Okay, so I have this nicely fastened. Sew it a few rounds. So if you want, you can iron out this part here, or you can just leave it curly like this. This is a small flower, not the big one. Maybe the big one you can iron it. And now we're gonna join this here. Cover this part here. So here I'm just going to make one stitch on the flower, just about anywhere of it, any part of the flower. Then you make one stitch onto this green part here. Then again one stitch here. And one stitch on the flower. Make sure it's on the inside, I mean the bottom part. And make sure you do not bring along all this. Oh yeah, I forgot. Before I sew this, wait, I keep forgetting this part. Okay, you get your wire, you cut it out about this size or shorter. You put it across your flower. Just poke it across your flower, just about anywhere. Once it got across, you bend it together and place it onto, okay, let me get that out first. Let me get rid of that first. Because I forgot to add the wire. Because it'll be quite difficult to add the wire once you sew the whole part. Okay, once you add it like this, you make it go across, then bend it and put it into this magic ring, the hole here. right in the middle. That's why the wire cannot be too thick. And this tail here, just hide it inside when you sew. And all this, you bring it out. If there's any petal stuck there, like this. So you check and see if it's in the right position. You can open up the flower later on to, you know, straighten this part here. If you have those hair dryer, the clip one, you can clip it to make this part straighten out like this. And you have a chrysanthemum, a small chrysanthemum flower. The middle part, let it curl a bit. So here, like how I showed you just now, you just sew once on the sepal here and once on the flower. Once on the sepal, once on the flower. And make sure it does not show like this. It doesn't show that it is stitched on. And I did not add stuffing because you don't have to add stuffing. It's kind of, it stick to the flower. Okay, so I'll come back to you once I have this nicely sewn. Okay, I've sewn all around here, and so now to end the sewing, you just make it go around here a bit. Oh, sorry. Just make it go around here. A few times. If you can, make sure you grab a bit of the flower as well at the bottom. And you cut the yarn. If this one you can't hide the yarn inside, it's too narrow. Because of me holding the flower in so tightly, everything gone so mush up. And now I'm gonna use this. You're gonna wrap this around. It is a little bit sticky. The first time when you wrap it around, it's not easy. Once you get the hang of it, you keep pushing it upwards because I want the top part to be covered as well. So as you curl it around, and look like this, and push this upwards to cover it up so that you don't see a gap there. It is a little bit sticky, so it will stick to itself. Once you come to the end here, you do not need glue or sticky tape. And once you reach here, you just cut it away and do this. Just twist it and it will stick. And the flower become like this because I was holding it tightly while I sew. So now open it up, make it look more like a chrysanthemum, and you have a medium-sized chrysanthemum here. So this is the bud and this is the medium-sized chrysanthemum. Hope you like this pattern. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you in my next post. Bye for now.